Lynx shot the Parkville lights out in Game 1, earning the chance to win their first title in more than 3 decades on their own home floor. But the Flyers are as packed with clutch big game players as any team in recent WNBL history. And more than that, they're fiercely proud. And that pride has been pricked. The big question is whether their veterans can keep up with the relentless, lung-busting, energy-sapping speed of Perth's youngsters. The two-time championship coach Cheryl Chambers and her team, led by 5-time champion Lauren Jackson, find a way to slow the kids down and play the game on Southside's terms. The stage is set for a fascinating Game 2 in this best-of-3 grand final series. It's the Perth Lynx and the Southside Flyers at the Bendat Basketball Centre in Perth. Good evening, everyone. Welcome as the 23-24 Cygnett. So you want to just lose a couple of shots off the end of it? So but when I say at the Basketball Centre in Perth, you can just run the, like either cut through to us, or is there a transition? Yeah, do a wipe through or something? Yep.
Lucky we went on though. Lucky we went on. Yeah, I wasn't sure if we were or not.
Can you pick a photo on this for us?
Oh, you got it now? You want me to do it?
Thanks, mate.
He's probably a better camera operator than me. From the front.
Just come over here.
I'll do it. We haven't got long to go. 6 seconds.
Oh, no, I don't.
You don't.
Congratulations on qualifying for the grand final. Now the battle begins. thanks to Foot Locker. Jason Bennett alongside Laurie Chiswick and Zoe Carr. And Laurie, in all our years of watching the WNBL, we've never seen anything quite like Perth's shooting performance in Game 1.
Oh, my goodness. I don't think Perth could have played any better than they did in Game 1. The way they shot the ball, the tempo that they played at. I'm sure they would have gone back and watched some tape and gone, this is exactly how we want to play. Maybe some minor adjustments on how they defend Jackson. But other than that, just do the same thing.
Zoe, all the adjustments have to come from the Southside side of the equation. It wasn't all doom and gloom for them. What's Cheryl's message tonight?
I think one of the biggest things is to make sure that they don't go too Perth-centric. Of course, they do need to make some adjustments, and I think some of those adjustments are fairly obvious, but they need to make sure they still take care of them and they're still true to their game plan and their game style.
Well, let's deep dive into some of these record-breaking numbers that Perth had in Game 1, Laurie. They entered as the #1 offence in the league. They smashed their own averages on top of that. They obliterated their season shooting average.
Well, Game 1 was just simply outstanding by Perth. In the first game of a grand final, an away game, to shoot the three ball at 58%, 25% higher than the season average is incredible. But then to also play above your season averages in so many of the other statistical categories, it just shows what a great game they actually played. My question is, can they repeat that performance tonight?
An all-time record 22 three-pointers, the most ever in a WNBL game. Amy Atwell came up with 9 of those, which is the second all-time behind Belinda Snell with 12. So Zoe, we dive into Southside's numbers, and it shows us that offensively, the Flyers were actually on their usual pace, 79 points, and they were actually above average in some categories.
Yeah, you can see that the statistics really back what we saw in the game, that the game was won by Perth at the three-point line. They shot well above their average. Southside defended well below their average. You can see offensively that they've got the same or slightly higher statistics there. So I think, as you said, Laurie, Cheryl will be telling her troops that Perth probably can't play any better than they did in Game 1. And with those adjustments, they'll be confident that they'll be able to take Perth out of their rhythm.
Time to welcome in the fourth member of our commentary team this evening, Megan Huswaite. Megan Huswaite is courtside. There's a mouthful, easy for me to say. Good evening, Megsy.
Good evening, Jace, Laurie and Zoe from Bendat Basketball Centre. It is pumping here. Amazing to see that the Perth Lynx sold out this game within 24 hours. Now, this is the Premiership Trophy that may be won tonight. It may be won on Sunday. But there's only one Perth team that's won this previously, the 1992 team. Many of those members are here tonight. We'll catch up with one of them at half-time. But Game 1 on Sunday, Perth got the win in Melbourne and flew straight back home that night to sleep in their beds, and Southside decided to come a day earlier on Tuesday. Of course, there's a 3-hour time difference with daylight saving. They got a few kids in tow as well, so they wanted to acclimatise ahead of tonight. The heat is on, is playing now, and the heat is on. Can't wait for Game 2.
Thanks, Meg. So the key question for Game 2, Zoe, how can Southside adjust? What can they do better or differently to get the game on their terms?
Well, I think we all know they must protect the three-point line. Perth produced one of the most impressive shooting displays that we've seen in the WNBL from the three-point line in Game 1. And the problem for Southside is they are capable of doing that again. So Southside must run Perth off the line and turn this into a two-point battle. They've got to control the tempo, and Southside cannot afford to get sucked into playing the track meet style that Perth love to play. This will start with Southside's shot selection to ensure that they're not igniting Perth's offensive transition. An attack and rebound against the zone. Perth did a great job of mixing up their defensive zone pressures to ensure that they always had pressure on the bigs inside. So Southside don't need to be afraid of that. Play in the space and then also try and look and get cheap, easy points off offensive rebounds.
Laurie, Perth's keys to success.
Well, protect the paint. When Southside won in Game 3, they had against Melbourne, they had 48 points in the paint. So they're going to have to do whatever it takes, bump cutters. Pace and space. This has been Perth style all year, and they want to get out and run. They need to do that again. And lastly, stay in the moment. Don't be overawed by this occasion. This is a big game for this young group.
Can Southside win on the road and keep their championship dream alive? Or can Perth win it all for the first time since 1992? Game 2 of the grand final from Bendat, thanks to Foot Locker. And it'll be Flyers with the first possession. Cole, Jackson, back to Beck. Mitchell from the corner. Not quite, knocked away by Rochi. They've got some experience in this team, Zoe. They've got winners. We talked about it before Game 1. the experience in this Flyers lineup. Plenty of players who have been there and done it. Their big names need to fire tonight.
Absolutely, and they'll be ready to go. They'll know that they need to step up and that they weren't quite where they needed to be last game, and they'll be ready to take this on.
Early foul. And Cheryl Chambers, a veteran, 350-plus games. No panic in the Flyers camp. They know what they've got to do. Now it's a case of just going out and doing it. McDonald, Potter has been fantastic as the season's rolled on. Good pressure from Jackson. Away comes Russell.
And you can see Beck Cole there is not doing anything to help on split line or help off on any other player. She is locked on to Amy Atwell.
Jackson inside, receives from Cole. Over the top comes Russell.
And I think that's exactly the start Southside need. They need to get it inside. They need to test the waters against Perth. And what a great steal there. Hands in, deflection.
Brilliant from Rochi. Look at McDonald has come flying in from the left of screen. Maddie Rochi, massive three.
I sort of thought LJ might shoot that. She was wide open, but passed it to her teammate, Rochi. Nice finish.
Ideal start for Southside. They want to keep this music going as long as possible. It'll stop now. Potter gets to the rack.
And that's one of the dangers of when you're playing that sort of defensive pressure that they are on Amy Atwell. There's nobody there to catch the roller on any pick and roll play.
Rochi to Cole, puts it on the floor, takes on Atwell. Doesn't score. Rolls out. And away comes Amy. 9 3-pointers in game one, and she shows she can take it to the hoop as well.
Well, Russell really needed to come over there and be in at split line and helped Cole on that drive.
Rochi to Russell. Cole, nice step, gets past Atwell, sets up Mercedes, and she rolls it in.
She's somebody that I think will really lift this game and needs to lift for Southside.
There's that McDonald trademark speed, Zoe.
And the change of pace too, going from slow to fast, just so explosive.
Incredible acceleration, really hard to guard. Cole receives from Mitchell. Again, they go inside. That's the same play they ran early. This time they draw a foul, Laurie. It's right in your playbook.
Well, that's exactly right. Draw that defender there and go inside. They've got the two of them in there. So, and I believe that was on Potter, and that's a good thing for Southside. If they can get Potter into any sort of foul trouble, then she's their one legitimate big out there, and that would hold them in good stead, Southside.
Totally change the dynamic of the game, wouldn't it? It's size versus speed, Zoe, really, when you break down the matchup.
Definitely, and you can see that the bigs for Southside, that's twice now that as soon as LJ's got that catch inside, she knows she's about to be doubled or trapped. So she's just finding the open players.
Perth did a great job of using Southside's size against them in game one. Cheryl Chambers now looking to flip that script and turn it into a strength for her team. McDonald guarded by Rochi. Long range shot is good. Quick catch and release from Ari. Mitchell, Jackson, Rochi, back to LJ, drew a crowd. That was really smart basketball.
And that's how they got all back into the game in that third quarter, was Jackson, the pick and pop, and I thought Perth would have made a bit of an adjustment, but clearly Jackson was ready to shoot that.
Good child, got herself open, couldn't finish. Lauren Jackson just in scintillating form right throughout the finals. Going to be critical again tonight. Russell. Here's Maddie Rochi. Always gives it so much height and elevation. Drains it again, and the Flyers have kicked away to a great start.
The shooting percentages of both teams have been extraordinary to start this game.
They lead by 6. Potter against Jackson. The bigs go at it in the post. LJ wins that little battle.
I just feel like there's so much more pop to the Southside Flyers at the start of this game.
Rochi, Russell. There's Jackson inside again. If she gets hoop side, Laurie, she's almost impossible to stop.
Well, that was just great high-low action, and Jackson caught it on the move, not trying to catch it in a stationary position.
Maley from the corner. Not this time. First three-point attempt from the Lynx tonight.
Well, Maddie Rochi taking it at the big girl in Potter.
And Southside has successfully managed to flip the script early in the first term. The first half of this first quarter, Zoe, they've got the game on their terms for the first time in this series.
And I completely agree with you, Laurie. There is a confidence in this Southside group. You can tell they've gone, they've watched their film, they've made their adjustments. They are confident that they can get this game, and it is showing for them offensively. That wasn't there in game one.
So it's over to you, Perth. Let's go inside Ryan Petrick's huddle and hear how they're going to respond.
18 points in 4 minutes. And what's the action? They've run one down a few times. But it's Rochi in transition, it's random rotations. They get a low post touch and we send 3 to it, not 2, blah, blah, blah. So again, they get non-ball, Jackson pops, we don't peel it in time, it's an open 3. Again, if we can get stops, we can get run-outs into on-ball series and play. Offensively right here, I want to be in stack twirl, one time. Again, defensively, got to start playing here. I need to force long twos, misses and runs. Let's go.
That's what's so key to Perth, and Ryan Petrick was talking about it there. Their offense relies on them getting good stops and then just getting out and running. And so far they haven't been able to do that because of the diligence of Southside and the shot selection that they're taking.
Megan Huswaite courtside.
Wonderful energy in the Southside timeout led by their coach, Cheryl Chambers. They want to get another stop here and they're looking for continued high-low action. No surprise, Mercedes Russell and Lauren Jackson key to this start.
There's that speed from Mary McDonald again. The Flyers shooting 7 for 9. They've been diligent in their shot selection and they've made their shots drop. They've robbed Perth of the chance of getting out on the fast break. Fast break points in game 1, 16-0 in favour of Perth. Jackson, Russell, they move the ball. Mitchell, back to Mercedes in a good spot. Not quite. Here comes Chippertoni, had a real impact off the bench in game 1.
I was so impressed with her and what she brought to the table.
McDonald receives from Clinch Hoycard. Maley looks to reset on the opposite side. Airy steps back. Not this time. Right now, Southside have found something that works, Zoe. They've gone to the well. They've unlocked a couple of things that are working for them, and now you can start to really manipulate those.
Well, and if you see this Maddie Rochi 3, that doesn't go down, but that's still a good shot. Good ball movement. Ball went from side to side, inside out. That's what's key for Southside.
Atwell denied by Jackson. Cole. Mitchell. Rochi wide open again, this time on the opposite side. Still open. Can she punish them? Not this time. And away comes McDonald. Kick ahead pass. Atwell, catch and release.
That's exactly Perth style to a T. A quick rebound, outlet, kick ahead, shot, score.
Exactly what we're talking about. If the Flyers shots drop, that denies Perth that opportunity. Cole will go herself. Nice finish from Beck. Maley. Will she take on Russell? Chippertoni posting up against Mitchell. Clinch Hoycard. McDonald loves to go left. That's a beautiful little feed.
And again, that's Mercedes Russell. She's got to come across and catch that roller. They're doing a great job of emptying out the weak side of the floor. As they roll to the basket, somebody's got to be there just to slow them down.
Tempo of this game is everything. Southside should be in no hurry. That's a lovely find from Mitchell to Russell. They don't want to shoot out, Laurie. Cheryl doesn't want 105 to 102.
Absolutely not. And right now they're playing really smart, controlled basketball. Having said that, they can't just keep trading baskets with Perth if they want to, try and get a little bit of ascendancy here.
Yeah, that's the point, isn't it? They don't want to shoot out. Mitchell does take the early shot. And Zoe, Perth are so good at sucking you into playing at their speed.
Absolutely. That's the tempo they want to play. You've got to try and resist that. Continue with ball movement. Continue to pump the ball inside.
Chippertoni over the top. Clinch Hoycard. Mitchell gets a hand, but can't deny McDonald. Well done, Cole, on Clinch Hoycard.
You can just see how Perth, when I talked about spread and spacing the floor, they play 5 out, then they set an on-ball screen, and everybody's conscious of how well they shoot the ball, so there's not a lot of help at split line.
5 seconds on the shot clock. Chippertoni. Clinch Hoycard. It's going to have to be a quick shot. Gorman. Off balance. Not quite. Atwell comes up with it. She can't finish. Chippertoni does. The height of Alex Cibertoni is a tall guard over the top of Mitchell.
That was just great second effort by Cibertoni, just the way she fought for that, her second effort.
Ernst receives back from Mitchell and finishes. Flies. Getting a lot of shots from within 2 or 3 feet of the rim, Zoe, which has got to be key for them tonight.
Absolutely. And again, it came from execution. Excellent execution gets them good shots.
Potter at the other end responds for Perth. And we've got ourselves another high-scoring shootout in the opening term. That side of things will please Ryan Petrick. The quicker the game, the more Perth like it.
Well, they're banking on the fact that they can play this style of game for 4 quarters easily. Can Southside do the same?
Cibertoni walks it down the floor. Inside 2 minutes of the opening term. Game 2 of this Cygnett WNBL Grand Final, thanks to Foot Locker. Cibertoni's got Potter rolling towards the rack.
And I sound a bit like a broken record, but there's zero help off of Amy Atwell because of how potent she has been. So there's nobody to catch that roller. There needs to be an adjustment made on that to make sure that we don't allow other players to get off.
Ernst takes on Potter. Emily does enough to put her off the shot. Jazz Dickey into the game for Southside. Here's Atwell, open. Doesn't need it. Second invitation, not this time. Rochi. Mitchell to Jackson. Dickey. Leaving her open, inviting her to shoot the 3 ball. Atwell staying off her. So Jazz steps inside and says, I'll take the long 2 instead.
Well, that's a strategy. They've identified certain players that they're going to stand off. If they shoot a couple of long-range shots, they'll live with that. But Dickey is one of those players.
And she steals here. Away she comes, Jazz. So impactful off the bench. She comes up with 4 quick points.
She's impactful at both ends of the court, Zoe. She's, you know, we just saw her there steal the ball and get a layup. Defensively, she's a great player and has an impact offensively as well.
And her extra length and athleticism means she can guard nearly anyone on the floor.
Waved away on Cibertoni. Doesn't like the call. And a 1.9 second differential between shot and game clock now allows Southside to take their time.
Well, they should. They should work the clock right down and take the last shot and not give Perth any opportunity to finish off this quarter with a shot.
Mitchell, dangerous, picked off, good child, goes herself, uninterrupted for 2. Well, the Flyers can still have the last shot. It's not the way they drew it up.
Well, that was a bad turnover for them.
Rochi, Dickey, she sets up for the long ball. Rolls around. Great result in the end of that quarter for Perth. Good child from half court. Will be waved away. And the Lynx close it back to a 3-point deficit. Quarter time in the all-important game 2 of the grand final. Southside fighting for survival. They lead by 3 points, 28-25.
I feel like too much. Maybe we can do a butter both. Slim, come in for Carly. Great job, though. Come in for Carly. Sorry? So if they call 4, it's the 4-man that's dragging. Stay with the 4-man, get through. Make sure you dive with them. The next person you show and you help. Stunt, but don't overhelp out of the corner. Okay, remember to whoever that is in the corner. Jazz, have you got that? Don't come off in the corner. You stunt and you get back here. Okay, let's keep taking good shots. One Up has given us good shots, but I really think Cheek will, if we can get into some Cheek as well, it's going to isolate them. It will, it honestly will. But let's go One Up and we'll flow into One Up, but anytime. But when we're going against the press, someone stay behind lay here. here. That's probably going to have to be you here. Stay behind. You come in the middle here and let's just break it. No, that's okay, but let's just help her. Anytime there's a dead ball, they're going to go to that sort of stuff.
They know it's coming to them.
Okay, whose ball is it?
We held them to 1-3. You made 1-3. But it was the Atwell transition one where we didn't find.
Hey, no more threes. Same thing. If we do the same thing this quarter, we're in really good shape. It's going to take 4 quarters to win this game, okay? So we just think about this quarter. We defend. You find Atwell, whoever finds her first in transition.
Oh my God, I love my team. I love my teammates. I absolutely adore like 1 through 16. Like they are just such good human beings, great people. Personally, my biggest goal is to just be happy, to just be at peace while I play and to really enjoy myself. That's the most important thing for me at the moment, is just to be out there and enjoy my basketball. In terms of bringing a positive energy to the team is my biggest thing.
More on the wonderful story of Annalie Maley at half-time. It is quarter-time, game 2 of the grand final at the Bendat Basketball Centre in Perth. It is the Flyers by 3 points. Meggs was inside Ryan Petrick's Lynx huddle.
Well, Ryan Petrick is usually a methodical coach in his addresses to his team, but he started that break by saying that the effort level of Perth in the opening term was atrocious. He said defensively that is not the standard. I caught the end of Southside, and Cheryl Chambers was happy with Southside's opening quarter. She said if we replicate the same thing, we're going to be in good shape, but this is 4 quarters.
Thanks, Meggs.
On to the next.
They held Perth to just 1 3-pointer in that first term, 1 of 5. So a good result there for Southside. Here's Mitchell. They lead by 3. Jackson to double that lead. Just flips off the nylon. And Mercedes Russell, very smart play, keeps it alive for Southside. Laurie, you got to listen into all of Cheryl's address. What did you make of it?
Well, I think she was happy with what they were doing, and she was talking about which plays worked, but that they, you know, it's a bit of a cat and mouse in these games between coaches. They thought this would work, but now we think Ryan will do this. Let's try that. So she was overall, though, really happy with their effort level, and the likes of Dickey coming up with that O board and putting the finishing touches on it.
She gets the and one. Chance to double a lead from 3 to 6. Zoe, what did you make of the opening term?
I thought Southside did an outstanding job of just setting the tone for themselves offensively. They were confident. They knew where the ball was going to go. They had great ball and player movement. And as a result, they shot at 60% from the field, which again slowed the transition of Perth Lynx. With the Perth Lynx, though, only getting that 1-3, making that 1-3 in the first quarter is obviously a stark difference to game 1, but something that can turn on very quickly.
Only the 4th foul of this game, Laurie. It's been really free-flowing.
Well, that's exactly the same as game 1. In fact, game 1, for the whole game, between the two teams, there was 13 foul shots taken. So, you know, the refs are letting them play, which I like, because it's physical out there. But both teams are playing really cleanly. Donald thundered into Rochi. Good child. Tough shot. Miller makes it.
And it's really hard to defend that on that switch when they split the screen. So they set the screen one way, they come off it, and they twist it around and come off it again. But Southside must get over the top of that because Perth are just too good as shooters.
Rochi to Russell. Wants to work on Potter. Emily's hard to shift. Gorman tidies it up. Clinch Hoy card. McDonald just puts it up. So 3 balls not dropping for Perth so far in game 2. Rochi gets around Potter. Can't finish though. Emily off to Goodchild. Mila, will she go herself? Has to deal with Jackson. Gee, that was clever.
Well, that was good because Jackson tried to change her shot and she was able to maintain her composure and come out the underside and finish off.
Up to 7 points, Goodchild. Atwell's got 7 as well. Here's Jackson open. She'll fight for it on the deck. Dickey will come up with it and finish.
How huge, Laurie, has Dickey been in this game off the bench? Her impact coming up with offensive boards, getting three-point plays, getting deflections and steals. It's just been enormous.
Well, and the thing is that she's just simply playing her role. She's not trying to do too much. She knows exactly, she's a bit of a magnet for the ball when it goes up, sort of similar to an Annalie Maley at the other end, and she's just been at the right place at the right time with her endeavour.
She did it in game 1 of the semis as well, came off the bench for 16 points. Meg, she's been impressive.
As we touched on a few games ago, Cheryl Chambers coined her the microwave. They put her on and she goes to instant cook.
I like that, Megs.
Donald. Again, just wheels around on that left side. This time can't finish. It remains a Perth ball.
So that's just something that, contesting those boards, somebody like Mercedes Russell, she's just got to be relentless on that and really rip it into her body.
Choi card. Maley. Good child. Back to Annalie, 3 seconds to shoot, so she does, and ties things up.
See, I would look at Zoe, I would look at that shot and go, great shot, because it was contested. There was a hand in her face.
And there's Carly's response at the other end. The veteran Carly Ernst in game 288. McDonald over the top of Ernst.
Now, Southside just need to be careful. Perth is starting to set the tempo here and looking to go up and down, and they're trying to draw Southside into it. So it's a great job from Leilani Mitchell here to slow this down and get it back on Southside's terms.
What Perth don't want, Laurie, is half-court, 24-second shot clocks running down.
Well, that's not Perth style at all. They want to force the Flyers into feeling like they have a bit of pressure and take some quicker shots, because as we know, then they rebound and run. So certainly the quarter court game suits Southside much better.
Steph Gorman takes a seat. Apologies, I called her Clinch Hoycard a little earlier. So Maddie Rochi will have the inbound. Ernst back to Maddie. Now to Cole. Rochi again. Bodies at the floor. Offensive foul. And a little bit of chat between Ernst and Atwell. And things getting a little spicy at the Bendat Basketball Centre, and why not? Southside's season is on the line. Here's another look. Ernst. And Atwell comes back and goes, So Carly initially suggesting, I think, that Amy took a dive. What do the referees do here? Do they escalate it or de-escalate it?
I'd like to see it just move on. Like, everybody's ready to just go and play. I know, sometimes from a spectacle perspective, we don't want to be seen to be encouraging, but this is fun with basketball. Emotion's going to be into it. These players want to win. So, if we could just move on from this, I think that'd be the best thing.
So a confirmation of the offensive foul against Carly Ernst.
It's interesting, though, because obviously a strategy for Southside would have to be wear Atwell like a glove. Do not let her get any looks, any freebies, any easy catches. And so she's going to attract a lot of attention tonight by various players.
McDonald as play resumes. Clinch Hoycard being harassed by Rochi. Good child. Pops it over the top. Southside ball.
And you saw there Carly Ernst, for what I was asking for in the whole first quarter, Laurie, was for somebody to tag those rollers as she left her player and was there, and you saw the result. It's not an easy catch and layup. It's now a turnover.
Well, I thought the Southside, too, did a great job of doing a little bit more switching in that last play phase.
Rochi potches into the game. Russell, Cole, jacks up a three and makes it. Handy lead again for Southside. They kick back out to a 5-point break. Atwell. Yet to light it up in this game too. Amy still got 7 points on 3 of 7 shooting. Rochi goes the other way. Clinch Hoycard, it's knocked away. Well played, Ernst. Rochi, Russell, Cole, and again we see Southside happy to slow the game down. Ernst will take the long ball, and why not? Made a living out of it.
Well, I'm glad she made that shot because Mercedes Russell passed it out when she had Ari McDonald on her, and I'm thinking, back her down. So nice finish by Carly Ernst.
Argent to 8. McDonald's shot doesn't drop. Things just not quite going for Ari at the moment. She's 3 for 8 from the field tonight. So Southside's biggest lead of the game was 10 points. They got on a 10-point scoring run. At the moment it sits at 8 points as we approach the midway stage of this second term. It's been an impressive series of adjustments from Southside in game 2 after being blitzed in game 1. Not sure if that was a pass or a shot from Potch. I think it was a pass.
Well, Perth went into that little zone, Zoe, you talked about at the beginning of the game, and that really threw Southside off and their rhythm, and that's a great asset by Perth that they can show different looks.
McDonald, clinch Hoycard, back to Airy. All oxygen and away comes Cole. Kick ahead pass, just too much on it for Rochi.
And that's one of those turnovers that as a coach, you, as much as you always want to be able to complete that play and score, you're kind of okay with it because it's putting bulk pressure on Perth's defensive transition.
Atwell tries to get to the rack. Maley comes sweeping in. Well done, Russell. Rochi against Goodchild. And sets the screen to the corner. Potch loses the handle. Swept away by McDonald. Airy spins and finishes.
That's just so classy, Ari McDonald, and what she did there, that nice little spin move. She anticipated the defense.
It's game 2 of the grand final. Southside 41, Perth 35, thanks to Foot Locker.
They're just guarding both bigs because we're switching the guards.
Okay.
Let's go. Get 3 stops now. 3 stops. Let's go.
Here, we're in double fist. So I want Mack at the very back, Atwell at half court, Anley on the ball, 2 guards. Again, it comes in, blitz it, can't foul, we foul, they shoot. Blitz it, weak side guard, get the inbounder. Atwell's doing whatever the hell she wants. Once it goes over half court, we're going back to 2. 1 possession only. In that horns action, when they pop and we switch, they're then sending both bigs down. Can I help from a guard who can't shoot?
Of the Cygnett WNBL Grand Final for 23-24. It's Perth versus Southside. Ari McDonald, who has been electrifying all season, brings her side to back within 6. She's got 8 points on the game so far. Ernst, Rochi wide open, doesn't take the shot, goes to Cole. Beck does take the shot, almost does everything but drop. Maley almost stepped out of bounds with the ball. McDonald fouled on the way to the hoop as we go to Meg's courtside.
The message to the Southside players from Cheryl Chambers was that we're okay. She said, I don't love the turnovers, but I love the way we're going about it. Stick to the scout. She said they're all over Amy Atwell like a cheap suit.
So 4:26 to play in the second term. Southside by 9. As Maddie Rochi takes a seat. Ari McDonald to the line. And silence through the Bendat Basketball Centre as the Perth faithful hold their breath. 7-point game. Cole to Ernst to Dickey. Mitchell confronted by Goodchild, off to Jazz Dickey. Jackson in the post against Clinch Hoycard. That's where she goes now. LJ double teamed. Nicely worked through by Dickey. Can't finish. Good D from Perth. Maley. Clinch Hoycard. Thought about the pass. Almost dropped it. Now Atwell against Jackson. Steps back. Corner shot. Not quite. Would have blown the roof off. And away comes Ernst. Cole works to the hoop. Comes up with 2 and 1.
You talk about Dickey playing her role. I feel Beck Cole's doing the exact same thing. She's just been really solid defensively, whether she's, all over Atwell, but just her ability to run the floor. The timing of that pass was spectacular, and great finish by Beck Cole.
She just hesitated in her move upwards, Zoe. Got the defence off. It was a good, smart vet move. It's sent her up to 10 points now. She equal leader in the game with McDonald.
Yeah, and she's just kind of done it quietly, because her main focus for this game tonight has been the defensive end. So she's just taking what's coming to her and doing a great job of converting.
Up to 11 points now for Beck. And her side leads by 10. 3.5 to play in the opening half. Maley to cut into that lead, not this time. They're 3 for 12 now from three-point range, so regressing to the mean after shooting it at 58 in the first game. Dickey, Ernst, Cole, nice step. And again, Beck adds 2 more. 13 points for the veteran. Margin of game high 12. Maley. Back to 10.
That was a great finish by Annalie Maley when she got the ball and Jackson was bearing down on her and she was able to still finish.
Dickey explodes towards the hoop, couldn't finish. Here's Atwell. Sees some open space. Just not dropping for it at the moment. She'll go again. Receives from Potter. That won't go either. And every time she misses, Zoe, Southside's confidence just grows that little bit more.
Yeah, but that's also how you know she's a shooter.
Yes.
Misses one, it comes straight back to her. She doesn't think about it. And that is going to be her mentality for the rest of the game. So Southside need to make sure that they don't give an inch on her at all.
1 for 6 now, Amy Atwell. They're 3 for 15 as a team from three-point range, Perth. Dickey. That won't go. Ernst tries to keep it alive. Knocked away by Chippertoni. Taken by Maley. McDonald gets a one-on-one. Got into her move. Lost her footing. Down she goes. Cole back the other way. Ernst. Mitchell. Foul. Offensive foul.
I think Southside have just gone away from what's been working for them so well, which was getting the ball inside. They're settling for a lot of perimeter shots, even long twos, those 15-footers, which Perth are happy for them to take. So they need to continue to put the ball inside, allow Perth to trap and find their open players, which is what they did so well in the first quarter.
Southside not happy with the call. Leilani Mitchell and Cheryl Chambers both asking the questions of the referee. Margin sits at 10 points.
Once we break the pressure, 1-up is great, but we've got to help everyone break the pressure here, okay? So you guys have to be strong in the middle if we need you. Don't run away, but you got my message now, okay? We want to show a 2 here. Walk out, it's dead, the ball's down here, but we're in a man. So we're matching up towards, so if Atwell's on this side, you walk to that side, you're here. So we're just showing it, getting him into it, we're in a man-to-man the whole time. Hey, work really hard for this 2 minutes. Get on every fucking rebound you can get on and defend. They're gonna try and run on us. Get back, get back, get back. Southside.
Apologies for the passionate language. It is a grand final. So much on the line. The season on the line, Southside. They need to win this to send it back to Melbourne for game 3. Let's have a look at this last play. Foul was called on Mercedes Russell from moving screen against McDonald. Southside hated the call. Zoe, what did you think?
I would like to see that let go. I think in an international game, that's not getting called. So I think if we're going to say that this is the second best or close to the best league in the world, we need to be making sure we're replicating that kind of gameplay and that sort of physicality.
Meggsy was with Ryan Petrick in Perth.
Well, we know Perth live and die by this game style, and Ryan Petrick wants Perth to keep letting it fly, but he's most disappointed with their efforts on the O-boards. He wants to see them rebound it.
Thanks, Megs. Offensive boards 7 at the moment for the Flyers. Potter having an influence once again.
The other thing I like about Southside today is that there's more movement off the ball. So Beck penetrates, and you can see Dickey just coming underneath the basket. There's just more movement on dribble penetration or post feeds.
Emily rejected it. Mitchell against Chippertoni. A couple of great veterans of this league. Ernst has had a real impact tonight. Such a fantastic shooter. One of the greatest shooters we've ever seen in this league for a 196-centimetre player. Had no idea where the ball was on that occasion. It goes out of bounds, and it'll be Southside's.
But that's one of those cases of I'm not getting the ball, but neither are you.
Correct.
So she just made sure of that. She was caught slightly out of position, but did an outstanding job of making and ensuring that that wasn't a catch-and-shoot layup.
So an equal game-high 12-point lead here for Southside with 1:20 to play in the first half. This has been an extraordinary turnaround from them. Dickey makes it 14 points.
Sorry, Jason. All of a sudden, the things we were talking about for Southside in Game 2, you know, they're letting Perth do what they want. Now I feel like the exact same is going for Southside. That great pass into Potter, but that they're not taking Southside out of any rhythm right now. Perth really need to get, and I know Petrick was imploring that in his timeout. They've got to be more active defensively.
Mitchell. The tone, the speed, the style of the game, everything different at the moment to Game 1, and that suits Southside just fine. Here's Potter to try and put some speed on the ball. McDonald, Chippertoni, that's better from Perth.
Much better, and that's what they want to do. Any missed baskets, just get out and run.
And that's the thing, the Flyers are shooting at 52%, Laurie, so they're starving them of those opportunities.
Well, the shot selection has been much better this game.
5-second differential between game and shot clock. Jazz Dickey to Mitchell. Against McDonald, out comes Russell to lay a screen. Buys Leilani some space, pops it over the top of Potter. Beautifully worked from Southside. Final shot, McDonald on the fly. Front iron, and that is a wonderful first half of basketball from Southside. What a great response from an experienced team. We mentioned at the outset, so much experience, so many big game clutch players. And that was a great combination of coaching and execution in the first half. They lead by 12 points. Here's Megs.
Maddie Rocci, that is a hell of a response from Game 1. Where did it stem from?
Yeah, obviously our defensive end, we know the performance that we put on, whatever day that wasn't good enough, and we know they're a great side, so it has to come from the defensive ends.
What's worked in nullifying Amy Atwell's influence to halftime?
Yeah, just knowing where she is on the floor. Obviously we know that she's a knockdown shooter, so finding her in transition and just being attached to her the whole time.
What do you think the message will be from Cheryl at halftime?
To keep fighting. I think obviously we know we have this lead, but they're a great side, so just to keep focusing on the defensive end, looking at our inside presence, and yeah, that will happen.
Thanks for your time. Good luck.
No worries, thank you.
Southside fighting for their season, doing a fine job of it. They lead by 12 points at the half. It's Southside 55, Perth 43. Coming up in our halftime show, thanks to Foot Locker, we will check in with the great story of Annalee Maley. And as we head to the break, here's our top 3 plays from Grand Final Game 1.
Oh my God, I love my team. I love my teammates. I absolutely adore like 1 through 16. Like they are just such good human beings, great people. And then in terms of like basketball wise, like Aerie is the fastest person on the planet. I've never seen someone run as fast as she does. And then she's also just so hilarious. Like she's so funny. Ever since she joined the team, she's just kind of fit right in. Mila Goodchild is the nicest person. I don't think you get much more pure than Mila. I really do like my teammates. They're just great people.
McDonald to the corner. Maley, biggest bucket of the day so far. Massive Maley.
Ryan runs a really fast game, which I think really works for me. I love the way he sets up his teams to work in transition. Personally, my biggest goal is to just be happy, to just be at peace while I play and to really enjoy myself. But that's the most important thing for me at the moment, is just to be out there and enjoy my basketball. In terms of bringing a positive energy to the team is my biggest thing.
If that's not classic Perth Lynx basketball, then nothing is.
We have a really score-heavy team that everyone has the ability to put the ball in the hole at any time. And I think for me, my job is to just be myself and just to do the best I can every day and not put pressure on myself to be anything more than just happy.
And the Lynx are through to their 6th WNBL Grand Final.
For us, there is no limits to what we can do as a group. We're capable of really amazing things, but I guess only time will tell.
It's been a long and winding road for Annalee Maley. She's bravely spoken about it over the years. She was a child prodigy. Of course, her dad was an NBL legend, Paul. She went to the RAS at age 15, but her mental health suffered from comparing herself to others and the pressure that she was putting on herself. So she ended up walking away from basketball for 14 months at the age of 16. It was all too much for her. She spent some time in a psychiatric ward. She was suffering panic attacks. And then she refound basketball, Laurie, through school. She signed up with her school team to just play basketball with her friends for fun. They went on and won the national championship. She falls in love with the game again. Adelaide and Chris Lucas come along and say, hey, come play with us because you're enjoying it. And it's just turned her life around and she's on track. And as she says now, her message is just, I just want to have fun and be happy.
I know. Isn't that it's a wonderful message to see a player out there really embrace the joy of playing and sort of try and remove that pressure of, she was MVP, so she had a lot of things to follow up. But, I've got to rebound this, I've got to do that, I want to be in the Opal squad. She just wants to be happy. And I'm sure she's got some other goals sort of in the back. But if that's the main one, that is great for her.
It's the power of sport, isn't it, Zoe? If you're playing just for fun and the love of it, and then everything else flows from that. But if it's just for the purity like Annalee Maley is, that's what it's all about.
Exactly, and that's what it helps then form into all other aspects of your life as well. So, when you're playing for love, you're loving what you're doing, you're loving your teammates, you can hear it in her voice, you can see it in the way she's played as well this season. Everything else then tends to fall into place.
Well, we've got ourselves a game, haven't we? Game 2 after Perth blew them out in Game 1. The Southside Flyers, we asked how are they going to respond, how are they going to adjust? Well, the answer is extremely well. They lead by 12 points at half-time, 55-43. They're getting it done at both ends. They've held Perth to 43 points and they've found ways to score themselves.
I'm really impressed with Southside and the way they've come out, the adjustments that they made, but it's more the energy that they're bringing on the court. And we just saw that was lacking in Game 1, but, they're more contesting shots. They're certainly playing better together as a team. Their shot selection is better. And I just like the feel, as you mentioned, Zoe, at one stage, they just feel like they're playing together as a team.
Yeah, and I think, one of the things that's really stood out for me is Carly Ernst and Jasmine Dickey off the bench, the impact of the bench from Southside in this game. They've had 20 points off the bench alone to Perth's 6, which is normally the other way around because of how Perth plays. So the conservative in me, though, says that it's not done yet. As much as they've hit their targets for a half and they've held Perth to what they've held them to, both from a shooting percentage and from a scoreline, they have to make sure that they stay on top of this because Perth is a team that can turn it on.
Laurie, this game epitomises the whole idea of offence being built off defence because it shows Perth in Game 1, Southside were taking poor shots, shooting poorly. Perth used that to launch their offence. But tonight, Southside shooting much better, taking better shots, and that denies Perth the opportunity to get down the other end. And someone like a Beck Cole's gone 5 for 6.
Well, she has 2 from 2 from the three-point line, and you talk about the role players on the bench, and I think Beck Cole, even as a starter, she's been sort of quiet, you know, taking a backward step to maybe Jackson and Russell and Mitchell. But I tell you what, she's come in there, and you're exactly right, Jason, as far as the way they've stemmed the flow of the Perth Lynx and how they can get out and run. They haven't been able to do that nearly as well. They're trying to, but certainly it's much more concerted effort by Southside.
Well, one of Laurie's keys to success for Perth was to stay in the moment. It is a big night for WA basketball. In fact, it's a big week with their NBL and WNBL teams playing finals. Basketball royalty everywhere, Megs.
That's right, Jace. I'm very honoured to be sitting amongst the 1992 Perth Breakers Championship team and the Grand Final MVP from that year, Tanya Fisher. Tanya, it must be great to come and reunite with the teammates and support the current team.
Oh, absolutely. Look, we're all very invested in breaking this 32-year-long drought. And, yeah, we're really hoping they can bring it home. So they might have to put in a little bit of contingency planning that wasn't there in the first half, but I still have faith.
Well, if Perth do win the championship tonight, Tanya will present Ryan Petrick and Annalene Maley with the trophy. But speaking of silverware, Tanya has brought along some show and tell. This is the peanut tray that she won for the Grand Final MVP in 1992.
Well, not the MVP. This is what we got instead of a ring.
Oh, have you ever eaten any peanuts on it?
No. I think I kept my keys on it for a bit, I think. But then my daughter told me off, so I had to actually put it up on a stand again.
Now, Tanya, we're just saying off air that you actually played in a game against Lauren Jackson. Amazing to see her going around in career 2.0. Can you tell us a bit about that game and how old she was?
She was 14 years old, and it was WNBL, and it was the first time we'd laid eyes on Lauren. We'd heard about the legend. She was one of the youngest players to ever step on the WNBL court. And so I think we went out there and did our best to bully her and push her around a little bit, but I'm not sure how effective we were. As you can see, she's a GOAT for a reason. She's now the oldest player that we've had playing for Australia. She is amazing. And, yeah, I'm so happy that I get to hang my hat on ever having been on the court with her as a 14-year-old.
Well, amazing to catch up with you, Tanya, and the team from 1992. Hopefully, for your sake, the Lynx can turn it around in the second half. We'd love to see you present the trophy to Perth. It would be very special. Thanks for joining us and enjoy the second half.
Thank you.
Thanks to Megs. Thanks to Tanya. Lauren Jackson playing in another grand final. She played one against Perth 25 years ago as a 17-year-old. She's out there again at the age of 42, and her team is half a game away from pushing it to game 3, or a Perth half a game away from winning their first title in 32 years. All will be revealed. Third quarter action from Bendat next. This is Game 2 of the Cygnett WNBL Grand Final. Perth one up in this best-of-3 series. Southside needing to win to push it to Game 3 in Melbourne on Sunday. And they lead it by 12 as we start the second half. Rocci. Jackson, it's knocked away. Here's Maley, fights her way through. Can't come up with the first points of the second half, but Goodchild does.
Really good active hands by Perth, forcing that deflection and running up the floor, and good second effort by Goodchild.
Mitchell to Cole. We've sung Beck's praises in the first half. 13 points on 5 of 6 shooting. Rocci probing as always. Here's Beck again. Having a great night. She was their finals MVP last season, and she's stepping it up tonight when they need her most. She's got 13 points, leads the game. Russell has 7, Rocci has 8. Here's McDonald. Elevates, can't finish. Rocci has it slapped away. Maley keeps it alive. McDonald dives after it. Slamming in there was Rocci. And Airy wore that one.
As much as you may be a bit disappointed with that foul, that's the desperation that both teams need to play with. This is the grand final. This is do or die for Southside, or this is taking home the chocolates for Perth. So, love seeing that desperation of both teams.
Zoe comes across as such a friendly, smiling type tonight, Laurie, but we're really seeing the dark side of her personality just emerging before our eyes.
Exactly.
Ferocious will to win, but as you say, it's a grand final. For Southside, there is no tomorrow if they can't win tonight. Archon sits at 13 points, opening minute of the second half as Maddie Rocci sits down. She's got 3 fouls now. Megsy courtside.
Well, Laurie was full of praise for the performance of Beck Cole so far, and it's a bit of a contest within a contest watching her match up on Amy Atwell, and as captain, she's really taking the lead in such a crucial matchup.
Here's Goodchild again. Not this time. Cole comes away with it. Southside sitting on a 13-point lead. Russell. Mitchell. Here's Beck to the corner. Dickey. Thought about going inside to Jackson. Being harassed by Atwell. Tough shot for Dickey. Jackson there to clean it up and keep it alive. Cole. Trying to shake McDonald. Easier said than done. Beck goes underneath Potter. Knocked away Maley. And away comes Goodchild. Kick ahead. McDonald. Dickey. Atwell. Not this time. Maley works hard. It's slapped away. They're just not dropping for Amy Atwell at the moment. She's 1 for 7 from 3-point range.
But a much better defensive adjustment from Southside to Game 1. In Game 1, they were all sprinting back and protecting the key rather than protecting the 3-point line, which you saw there. So that was at least a contested shot.
McDonald to Potter. Flat shot there from Emily, almost goes. Goodchild tries to knock it away, but Russell controls it to Mitchell and back to Mercedes. Dickey. Leilani. Cole, does she go inside to Jackson, posting up against Maley. Russell puts up the shot herself. Lauren tries to slap it away. Taken by Goodchild. Feeds it through. Potter rolls to the rack.
Great vision by Potter just to see that Russell was sort of contending with somebody at the 3-point line and just streamed down to the point of the rim.
Mitchell. Dickey to Russell. Cole. Mitchell keeps it alive. Just 3 seconds. Beck, tough shot. It's her night.
She is playing a captain's role out there. You could hear her after the interview after Game 2. She wasn't happy. She knew they had to do better, and she is leading by example.
Shots just not dropping for Perth at the moment. If you had told us that Southside would have twice as many 3-point makes as Perth at half-time in this game, we would have called you mad. But that's what happened. Rolls around the Jazz Dickey shot. It was 6 makes for Southside and only 3 for Perth in the first half from long range. And out of nowhere comes Mitchell to deny Potter. It'll remain a Southside ball, but that's the desperation that Zoe Carr's talking about.
Well, and that's... Leilani Mitchell's getting herself a reputation as a bit of a rim protector. That's her second massive block that she's had in this finals series. But from a Southside perspective, that's falling into those traps of playing and shooting in the mid-range.
Megan Huswaite courtside.
Well, she's become the human highlights reel, Leilani Mitchell, and she doesn't mind sharing them on Instagram either, but it was the coach who recruited her to the WNBL, Mark Wright, who nearly just picked her up there off the crowd and didn't like what he sees there.
Leilani hits the three. It's back out to 14 points. In fact, that's the biggest margin of the night so far for Southside. We're seeing off any sort of early rally in this second half from Perth. Good shot, makes a great shot.
And we've seen that over and over in game one with Atwell coming off that staggered screen and coming off that third screen and just catch and shooting, as Goodchild just showed us.
4 for 18 from three-point range, Perth. They generally go at a higher clip than that. Ernst, well, she goes at a high clip and has her whole career.
And that is just a bit of a shot in the heart. That was well defended. And well contested. Just a great shot.
Chipotoni looks to back in on Cole, draws a foul and one. Big play from the veteran, Alex Chipotoni.
But this is where Perth really need to start making some adjustments, because they cannot trade basket for basket at the moment. They're obviously, Flyers are ahead. If that continues, this is going to a third game. So they need to start looking at trying to get their stops down the other end, ignite their offense through their defense to try and draw this lead in.
Mitchell to Ernst to Cole, who's been dominant with 18 points. Here's Leilani. Carly again had a massive impact off the bench, and I was about to say, along with Jazz Dickey, Zoe, and they combine there.
And that's a much better look for Dickey. A couple of times she settled for the mid-range jump shot, but getting her feet in the paint and getting those higher percentage shots, that is her game.
Maley pulls up, but the shot won't go. Carly Ernst having a real impact. Jazz Dickey, does she go against that? Well, she does, steps through and draws the foul. So much experience. Look at that group. Jackson, Ernst, Cole, Mitchell. And then you throw in the youngster Dickey. You knew there was never going to be any panic, Laurie. All of those players have been in these sort of situations before. And as you guys said pre-game, it was about, for Southside, making it about themselves, not about Perth.
Well, that's exactly right. And the other thing is that, the other question mark was, how would their legs hold up? Just the cumulative effect of having that extra game against Melbourne. But I tell you what, they've taken it in their stride and they've come out, and fatigue does not look like a factor at all.
And the pace of the game, Zoe, has a part to play in that.
Yeah, they've done an outstanding job of slowing this down. A couple of times got sucked into Perth's pace, but more often than not, it's been on Southside's terms.
They continue to trade points. Russell, Mitchell, Ernst, causing problems. Carly Ernst, Cole. Lane collapses on her, so she goes back out to Ernst. Dickey, baseline shot. Atwell, Ernst over the top. I don't think Amy enjoyed that treatment much either. Clinch Hoycard. Atwell. Can she get hot in the second half? They double team her. Clinch Hoycard to the corner for Chipotoni.
What a great answer by Chipotoni. Just an extra pass into the corner by Perth.
Times now for Perth. They get it back to 10 points with 4 to play. A really important 4 minutes in this third term. Cole, tough shot. Wasn't there. And away comes Clinch Hoycard to Chipotoni, who's got a spring in her step. Alex goes herself. Alex Chipotoni, her 6th season in the league. Had son Elijah in January of 23. 3 minutes to play, almost 4 minutes to play in the third term. It's the Flyers by 10 points.
One possession, a head tap. I want to morph on 16. Yeah, 16. So full court man, 16, we're going to morph. Okay? Offensively, again, got to keep playing with pace. Got to keep playing with pace. Nothing changed there. But again, can I get early paint touch into on-ball series? Bigs, you've got to get the low side of the guard so they go over. Once you go over, the big gets engaged. If our big gets out of there ASAP, it's now 2-on-1. They go under. It's a guard jump shot. That's all we got. We good? Next half-court walk-up, snap 5.
Game 2 of the Cygnett WNBL Grand Final. It's at the Bendat Basketball Centre in Perth. The Lynx won Game 1. A chance to wrap up their first title in 32 years if they can get the job done tonight. If not, we go to a Game 3 in Melbourne on Sunday. Right now, it is the Flyers by 10 points. Megs is courtside.
Well, we saw that the Flyers in Game 2 of the semi-final series against the Boomers were really frustrated both on and off the court with the referees, and they really let it get to them. The message from Cheryl Chambers in that timeout was there's no time to stop and complain. If you get a foul, move on and keep going. They're also wary of Mila Goodchild. She's got a few away, so they want to try and lock down on her.
Leilani makes that shot. Thanks, Megs. It's waved away. We listened into Ryan Petrick's huddle. Laurie, what did you make of it?
Well, he emphasized they need to continue to play with pace. They need to push that envelope, get it up. Look at an early shot. If it's not there, then get an early on ball. And there we see he'll be happy with that steal from Chibitoni.
And it's the veteran having an impact in this third term, marching back to 8 points. Aren't we seeing some bench players have some impact in this series? In fact, in the entire final series, it's been wonderful to see Cole, Russell, squads win championships, and we're seeing that this season. Dickey elevates. Off the iron, Clinch Hoycard keeps it alive. Chibitoni loses the handle. Southside ball.
Right now, I think it's really important Southside go right back to what they did so well at the beginning of the game. I feel like Mercedes Russell is floating around that foul line area, not being a real big target inside.
I think they need to go the other way, Laurie, and have Mercedes Russell inside and then Carly Ernst lifting into that high post, because you can't afford to sag off of her because she'll be able to knock that down every time.
Carly's up to 14 points now on 6 of 8 shooting. McDonald, Clinch Hoycard, puts it on the floor herself, forces Ernst to foul. Good recognition from Mac. She thought about the shot, Zoe, then changed her mind when she saw the opening.
Yeah, and a great job to just direct penetration into the paint there. Sometimes we can get a little forced out when contact comes, but she leant into that and turned the corner and then was able to draw the foul and get herself to the foul line.
Important couple of shots here for Mac.
She's a 77% foul shooter this season.
Only missed 6, 20 of 26 for the season. And we fixed her. Geez, Laurie really fixed her.
Sorry about that.
Stays at 10. Inside 3 minutes in the third. Here's Chibitoni again. What a third quarter Alex is playing. Does she go herself? She kicks it out. Comes over the top, but can't prevent Rochi, and the height advantage that Chibitoni's got over Southside's smaller guards in Rochi and Mitchell's been telling at times tonight. Mitchell, lovely find. Dickey, waved away. The travel is called after that initial fumble.
But again, they're the sort of scores Dickey needs to try and find and sort out, like attacking on the rim either through the dribble, step-throughs, or cuts on penetration. I think if she gets more of those, she'll start to feel a bit more confident at the offensive end.
Arjun at 10 points, approaching the 2-minute mark in this third term. McDonald sets up. Big basket!
Really big basket. Defense got caught going under, and she just recognized that straight away and let it fly.
They get to 7. They haven't been this close for a while. Sell-out crowd at the Bendat Basketball Centre will get behind their team. Russell waits for Dickey, who turns the corner, steps through on Potter, can't finish. Mercedes there to finish for Southside. And Jazz Dickey hit the floor hard.
And that's Mercedes Russell's first offensive board for the game. And I think that's something she needs to address for the rest of this game. She needs to own the glass and get those easy offensive putbacks and points and get herself really rolling on the scoreboard again.
Well, you think she is Southside's leading scorer and leading rebounder. She just needs to assert herself on this game a little bit more.
9 points. She's got 12 rebounds, so on the verge of a double-double. Nice finish there from Gorman.
Really nice play.
Perth are coming. It's back to 7 points. Critical 90 seconds here, particularly for Southside. Rochi, a little floater is beautiful from Maddie.
And much better offensive output from Maddie Rochi there. Not mucking around with the ball, just getting it and going.
McDonald trying to shake Jazz Dickey. Will go herself. Jackson did enough. Away comes Maddie again. Great opportunity for Southside to settle down. Well done, Chippertoni. And there's that height advantage we were talking about. Tall for a guard.
She is very tall, and she is utilizing that in today's game. She's been so impressive off the bench, just using all her experience.
Got a good 15-centimetre height advantage over Leilani Mitchell. So margin at 9 with a minute to play in the third. Rochi to Dickey. Here's Mitchell, nice step, gets past Chippertoni. Wheels around, needs some support, gets it from Jazz. Won't drop, there's Russell again under the boards. Did she cop one in the eye? She might have. Saying no foul, got one in the nose. Ref said, look, I didn't see it. Perth ball. There's another look. Contact with Potter.
And Southside needs to make sure they know where Atwell is. She's just been subbed in for the last 50 seconds of this quarter, which means shots are coming to her.
McDonald, path just opens up for Airy.
And that's the thing, when you concentrate on one Perth player that can shoot the three, well, they all can shoot the three, it just opens up the driving lanes, as we just saw there with Airy McDonald.
Southside got to hold their nerve as Perth look to surge again. Margin sits at 7. Mitchell trying to clear out some space on Gorman. Leilani getting to position. 5 seconds. Russell, yes! Back out to 9. What a critical roll that was. Final play of the third term. This game delicately poised. McDonald swats away Dickey. Gets to position. Russell comes across but can't stop Airy. It is 3/4 time in game 2. And we are set for a grandstand finish. Southside 78, Perth 71.
Run at us, okay? They were always, everything is fine, but we just got to keep playing through it. If they hit us, whatever, that's great. You're getting on the boards and crashing. Every single time, crash the boards, you two, the rest of you, we're back and we're matching up to it. You've got Atwell, you've got what's her name, and let's just keep contesting. I think we could run into a 5 down. They're not pressuring you, so you could probably come and get it and get the hand off, and we run into a normal 5 down, okay? All right, we'll need some help. You might need to come and help the guards and bring it up and set some screens.
They're in a zone that X worked really well inside or outside, so let's go back to X again.
Yeah, but they're going to be pressuring the shit out of us, so it's hard to get in, so you all need to help here, okay? Let's start with a stop here. Follow the scouts. Deep breath, we're okay. Okay? Come on, here we go, guys. Keep fighting. Yeah, get on the board. Southside, Ryan. Here we go, Lozzie, let's go. Come on, Loz. Come on, go. Good job. Just keep battling. I know they've banged you in the head a couple of times, I know.
Tension starting to build. It is three-quarter time in game 2. Southside looking to tie it up and send it back to Melbourne on Sunday for a series deciding game 3. Perth trying to get it done on their own home floor tonight. They trailed by 12 points at halftime. The margin now 7 points at the final change. Southside 78, Perth 71 as we head to Megsy courtside.
Well, for all that Ryan Petrick spoke about in that three-quarter time huddle, the ball pressure, running Southside off their feet. He finished with this: Southside, mark my words, will run out of legs. The crowd will then bring you home.
Thanks, Megs. There is the sellout crowd at the Bendat Basketball Centre, desperate for a championship. It's been 32 years since Perth hoisted the WNBL trophy, Laurie. We've got a tense 10 minutes coming up.
My goodness, we do, because there's nothing better than winning a championship on your home court.
Haley's first shot won't go. Southside ball. So now it's a nerve check for Southside, Zoe. They've put themselves in a great position. They know Perth are going to come at them. They've got to hold their nerve.
Well, and the lucky thing for Southside is they are a team of veterans who've played in these games and bigger games. So if any team is going to hold their nerve, it's going to be Southside.
Rochi, Russell from the stripe. Really important part to play in this final term. You'd think Mercedes Russell, that one doesn't drop. McDonald accelerates, gets to position and finishes. Feels like she spent just as much time flat on her back as she has on her feet tonight. But having an impact as always. She's got 19 points. Cole drives at Potter. That won't go. Jackson, whistle, Perth ball. Lauren Jackson, 5 points tonight on 2 of 4 shooting. Hasn't had the same influence as she has in previous finals. Is it her time in this last quarter? Right now, feels like there's a bit of momentum with Perth. They've got it back to 5. McDonald. Atwell, tough finish. Russell, good D. Rochi. Mitchell wants to try and blow past Goodchild. She can't. And the nerves continue to build. Maley will have a go. McDonald. Potter tries to get position against Jackson. Now comes out to put a screen on Rochi. McDonald feeds it through. Well played.
Well, that's just such great timing of that pass from Ari McDonald. You have to, she's just scored a few layups, so you have to take care of her. And then Potter just comes up with a great finish.
Well done, Rochi. She drives at the D, draws a foul. So the Flyers have led by as much as 15. Suddenly it's a one-possession game once again, Megs.
Well, that's right, and Ryan Petrick speaks so often, and he has even in this game, about the fact that Perth run and they believe they can run Southside off their legs. But he's also touched on Ari McDonald. She's played so many more games less than every player in this game, so don't be surprised if we continue to see her fire up in this final term.
Both these teams, Laurie, have got classy, game-winning point guards who make great decisions. So when times get tough, you put the ball in Ari's hands, you put the ball in Leilani's hands and let them make the calls.
Absolutely. Set an on-ball for them. Let them make that decision how that's going to be scored.
You see it just there. Ari sets up the play, tried to feed Potter. They couldn't finish on this occasion. Mitchell to Cole. Jackson looks for position on Atwell. Shot waved away. Foul called.
And that's one of those ones I think Jackson will be happy she got the call, but would have probably preferred the 2 points that came after it. She would have been okay if they had have let that one go.
But you can just see the endeavor of Perth to front, to half front, to bump, to push, to make life so difficult for the bigs.
8 minutes to play. Mitchell, Rochi, Russell getting busy. Shot a little heavy, away comes Maley. Goodchild calls for it. Potter goes rumbling down towards the rack. McDonald pulls out. Says, come and set a screen for me, Emily. She does. Does she then try to feed it through? That was the plan. It was good D that time, good heads-up play from Southside. They learnt from that last play.
They did. They made their adjustment, and sometimes that's what you have to do. You have to make the adjustment on the run.
Good persistence from Russell. She finds two more. Dangerous inbound, controlled by Goodchild. Will she take on Rochi? Gets a hand in, just enough to break up the play. Steps on the baseline. Well played, Maddie Rochi.
It was a risky defensive play, but he got away with it.
I'm not sure as coaches we say that's good defense, but when it works, when it comes off, you go, great job.
Reached in from the back. Just got a hand in. 7-point game. Rochi brings it down the floor. Russell. Back to Maddie. Will she go herself? She does. Jackson in there against Maylee. What a battle that is under the hoop right now. Anna Lee undersized, but such great elevation and one of the best rebounders we've probably ever seen in this league at 189 centimetres.
Well, it reminds me of Keely Frawling matched up against Jackson, just that size differential and how you have to work so hard, but Leilani Mitchell finished over the outstretched arms.
What a bounce pass.
Woo.
And suddenly it's a 9-point game again. Southside have stabilised the situation. They're keeping Perth at arm's length. They got within 3. McDonald, clinch Hoycard, gun outside shooter.
Ryan talks about Aries passing. It is on time and it is on target, and that is exactly what we saw there.
McDonald runs into Russell. No whistle. Rochi. Here's clinch Hoycard. Loses the handle. Jackson picks it off. Goodchild's going to come in from the side and almost steal it again off Mitchell. How's the pressure right now? Both teams throwing everything at each other. Mitchell, Rochi, Jackson inside. Not this time, and away comes Atwell. Composure required in this last 6 minutes. Atwell gets past a couple, gets to the rack. Well played, Amy Atwell. 4-point game.
It is just an outstanding offensive tape. The amount of pressure that goes to her ability to just get between two and finish on an outstretch, that was just unbelievable.
Mitchell, pressure came from the back from Goodchild. Foul will be called as we head to Megan Huswaite.
Well, that Atwell layup, the ball had hardly gone in the hole, and Cheryl Chambers turned to the bench and to her player in Jasmine Dickey, who's been such a spark, and said, get to Atwell, and that's where she is now.
Thanks, Megs. Jazz Dickey with a blend of athleticism and smarts has got the job now on Amy Atwell. Here's Mitchell. This is Leilani, 89% career free throw shooter in her 201 games. She's missed just 5 times this season. She's 40 of 46 now. Make it 6 times. Makes the second.
And as we've said all season, foul shots can win you these close games, and they need to be shooting at good percentages.
She makes 2 out of 3 there. 6-point game. 5.5 to play in game 2 of the grand final. Great to have you with us. Cygnett WNBL final series. Thanks to Footlocker. McDonald to the rack again. She's up to 21. And it's back to 4. Russell. Dickey with a matchup on Atwell. Ernst has been important. Here's Jazz. Gets to position, pulls up. It's short. Well done, Russell. Really got busy in the second half on the O-glass. But away comes McDonald. She'll accelerate. She'll go straight at Rochi. Draw another foul. It'll be 4 on Maddie.
You'd have to say right now that Ari McDonald is controlling everything out there. She's controlling the tempo. She controls who gets the shots, whether it's her, whether she drives in and commands some defense and kicks it out. But she is absolutely controlling this game right now.
Missed 8 games for Perth with a knee problem. They lost 7 of those 8 games. Cheryl Chambers having a chat with the referees. This tension continues to build here. everything on the line for Southside. And it's a one-possession game again with 5 to play in game 2. Russell to Rochi. Who will hold their nerve? Maddie back to Leilani. Shot clock to single digits. Dickey provides an option. Steps past Atwell. That was clever. And patient.
Very patient by the whole team. They got through that structure.
Chippertoni. Maley. Clinch Hoycard. Draws a foul on Ernst. So they're not pulling the trigger on those open threes at the moment, Zoe. They're looking for higher percentage plays, Perth.
Yeah, getting feet in the paint and looking to get to the line. And at the moment, if you're watching Southside's body language, it's starting to get a little bit chippy because the pressure is on. So now they need to, as soon as that creeps in and takes over, that is when Perth will swoop. So they've got to stay calm and composed as a group. Just get back to what's next.
Megs mentioned that a little earlier, and how the wheels came off a little bit against the Boomers in the semi-final series and they got distracted. It's a 4-point game now. Mac to make it one possession again. And she does. Perth to win it all. Southside to square it up. Dickey spins away from Chibbertoni and off to Rochi. Back to Jazz. Ernst. Cole. Rochi. Dickey's open. Takes the shot. Makes the shot.
Well, she's making those mid-range jump shots.
McDonald.
And just straight back the other end. Ari McDonald just attacking the rim at will.
There's only one team getting those easy baskets right now, and it's Perth. They can score quickly on McDonald taking it to the rack. Cole shakes her on this occasion. And a chance here for Perth to tie it up or get within a point. McDonald steps past Rochi. Will she go to the rack again? Loses her footing this time. Potter rolls to the rack. 1-point game.
This is going to be the longest 3 minutes and 20 seconds for the for Southside Flyers fans watching this around the country.
Perth trying to win it now. Southside fighting for survival. It's a 1-point game with 3:20 to play.
We have to clean up down this end and rebound.
Carly for a second.
Again, defensive scout. Stop inventing shit. Play how we drew it up. And then keep running them. The more ball pressure, the more run-outs. But again, bigs, when you rebound, they're coming at you. Get it securely to a guard, and then we'll push. Offensively, next time down the floor, I want to be in, again, that first ATO. So Airy, Atwell, Mac in the corner. Potter, that leaves Chibba. Cool. Again, on ball, play, come off it. If it's not there, no issue. Go and screen Mac. Mac, curl it. Potter, get Atwell again. But again, there might be a blow-by.
Meanwhile, in the Flyers huddle,
Southside will go to their 2 most experienced players, Leilani Mitchell and Lauren Jackson, back into the game for these final moments. Cheryl Chambers wants to see her side get on the boards with Perth not boxing out.
thanks, Megsy. 1-point game. 3:15 to play in game 2 in Perth. Game 3 if needed. Sunday at Parkville, and Southside can square it up. Rochi. Off hands, big call. Southside ball. Potter suggests the refs confer, and they change. Huge call. Perth ball and the chance to hit the front for the first time tonight. They have not led. Southside have been up by as much as 15. McDonald again. She'll try to get to the rack. She does. Jackson falls, whistle goes, foul called, and you can see Airy at every opportunity, Laurie, is just pinning the ears back and charging at the hoop.
She is, and she's saying, okay, you guys have to come up with something to stop me. I'm not going to stop doing what works. You know, if this is the way you're going to play me, I'm going to take it to the rack. And the thing is about Airy is that if she gets stopped, she's going to find her teammates who are open, ready, feet set, hands ready at the three-point line. I think the ball needs to be in Leilani's hands and let her make decisions. Let her come off an on-ball screen with Russell or with Jackson and let her make those decisions. She's been in this situation lots of times. Three-time champion, 2016 with Sydney, 2018 with the Caps, and 2020 in the Hub with the Flyers. She's a two-time grand final MVP, Leilani Mitchell. Been a clutch performer her entire career. Maddie Rocci brings it down the floor here. Now it's into the hands of Leilani. Back to Maddie. Jackson against Maley, battling in the post. Russell. Cole. Rocci. Drives, floats. Russell. And one. Massive play for Southside.
And you could see the entire Perth bench wanting a 3-second call on Jackson there, who did an amazing job of just taking up space, which then allowed, you know, this drive. And Mercedes Russell, as we spoke about earlier, Laurie, trying to get her to get on the glass, own the glass, and get those cheap and easy putbacks.
Well, every time a shot goes up, she should be charging in to get those rebounds. Use her height.
Adds the extra, and it's a 4-point game. McDonald and Rocci continue their battle. Can Airy find a lane? She doesn't bother. Potter in good position, and she's fouled. We spoke about tense free throws down the stretch. Well, here they come.
On those rotations defensively, they have got to be tighter. Jackson does a great job of jumping out and contesting that three from McDonald, and nobody gets Potter for her. They've got to come across and box her out and end that possession at one shot.
She's made 18 of her last 21 now, Emily Potter, from the strike. Takes a deep breath.
She's been really good in today's game, really in the whole final series. If she's not scoring, she's setting great screens, being a shot block, just having her presence on the court.
And running the floor.
Yes.
The way she runs the floor.
2-point game, 2:10 to play. Rocci. Whistle goes. Megsy courtside.
Just keeping an eye, pardon the pun, on Lauren Jackson's eye. She did cop a finger to that when she hit the deck a few minutes ago. She is sort of tending to it with her hand in these final minutes. She's the GOAT, she'll be fine, but I'm sure it's bothering her.
Yeah, you can see it there, Megs, that right eye. Maddie Rocci.
This changes the entire dynamic of the game now, with Perth being in the bonus. So now defensively, they're going to have to be smarter. Otherwise, Southside are just going to walk to the line for the last 2 minutes.
Great composure and poise there from Rocci. She makes them both. It's back out to 4. Final 2 minutes of game 2. There's that play that you spoke about. McDonald draws a crowd, kicks it to Potter. Maley keeps it alive. Chibatoni. Will she go herself? She does and makes it.
How great has Chibatoni been in this game? And just the timing of her baskets, big time baskets.
Back to 2. Mitchell. Jackson. Rocci. Mitchell.
It's down to 4 on the shot clock.
Over the top, Jackson collects. Perth ball.
And there was just no penetration at all via pass or dribble. That ball just moved around the three-point line and didn't look like a danger at any stage until the end.
Huge play here. Whistle goes. .70 seconds to play. 95-93 Southside.
just epitomizes our whole season. The ups and downs, the close games, and here we have it in Game 2 of the grand final.
Perfect. Unpredictable, fast-paced, furious, physical. Everything we could have hoped for in Game 2. McDonald looking for an opening. Cole tries to deny. Airy spins through. Kick ball as Atwell drains it. It's wiped away. Speaking of drama, Airy's going to the line to tie things up with less than a minute to play. Here's another look, Laurie. Down she went. What'd you make of it?
Well, I thought, to be honest, I thought it was they were going to maybe call it travel as she spun around there and lifted her foot, but I'm not on the court. I can't see it so closely. I haven't even called for overtime yet this game.
Scores a level. 58.7 seconds to play. Perth haven't led all night. Mitchell. Southside hanging on here. Russell. Cole. Mitchell. Rochi. Who takes the big shot? 3 seconds. Leilani. It's blocked. Maylee, foul on Jackson. The crowd goes crazy. Annalee will head back to the line.
And that foul really hurts because now we're going to walk to the other end and have 2 free throws to potentially take the lead.
Megan Huswaite courtside.
Shades of Game 2 2 years ago. It was Marina Mabry at the line, exactly the same time on the clock. She missed the free throws. It went to Game 3. Let's see what Annalee does here.
Brilliant memory, Megs. Oh. And that was exactly what Marina did. Front iron. Misses both. 9-second differential between shot and game clock. Ball in the hands of Leilani. Now it's Rochi.
They've got to keep moving, Southside.
Russell turns it over. They can take their time. They don't need to take the shot, but they don't. They miss. It's blocked. It's Southside's. And they get one last shot. Cole to square the series. Does she go herself? Mitchell. Rochi calls for it. Will they get the shot up? Russell wins it for Southside. She wins it at the buzzer.
My goodness.
And we are headed for Game 3. This incredible WNBL season gets the grandstand finish it deserves. Southside rise from the ashes of Game 1. They level the series and send it back to Melbourne for a grand final decider. What a game. And Laurie, as you said a little earlier, this crazy season deserves a crazy finish. Mercedes Russell with the Lauren Jackson special.
That was... I'm speechless. The last 20 seconds was frenetic with missed foul shots, turnover, a block shot, coming down, and then that shot by Mercedes Russell. Oh, my goodness.
And the psychology of this, Zoe, has flipped 180 degrees.
Absolutely. Southside came into this game needing to really change the entire basis of the game. Now they go into Game 3 with a lot of confidence.
The almost exact same scenario Perth suffered 2 years ago in the grand final. Southside have led all night. Perth never led at any stage. What a win. Megs is with Cheryl Chambers.
Cheryl Chambers, that is how you come to Perth and send it to a deciding Game 3 back at home.
Yeah, wasn't it awesome? I mean, not quite how we planned it, but it doesn't matter. We've got the win and we can go back home and defend home.
How tough is this group? It was a hard loss on Sunday. You made the adjustments. We saw it in the game, but that was as tough as they come.
Oh, and our team is tough. You know, I said that before the game. We're a really tough team. We're a smart team. You know, we stick together and we just keep going. I mean, this crowd tonight was awesome, and thanks for all the supporters coming out. And, you know, they would have wanted to get it done here, but we're glad to go back the other way.
One thing you've done so well is rebound. When you have had a disappointing performance, you've come out and made a statement, and that's what you've done. You get to go home now, and I'm sure you want to urge all your fans to get there on Sunday afternoon. You've got the chance to do it at home.
Yeah, please come out, watch us. I know it's not our home of where our heartland is, but please come and watch us. I mean, these girls are great. I mean, what tenacity and what drive, and I'm so proud of them.
We're going to talk to Mercedes Russell in just a moment. How do you describe her? You had her in the first season of the Southside Flyers, and she was a marvel for you. She's been fantastic again. We saw it in the dying seconds. How good is she?
Oh, she's great, and she gets pummeled the whole time, and she just keeps playing. I love her way that she just keeps playing through things. So we love having her around, and she's a great character.
Get back on that plane. We'll see you Sunday.
Will do.
As we're joined by Mercedes Russell. Mercedes, congratulations. You're a woman of few words, but how is that?
It's amazing. We're happy to just get the win. Obviously, it's a series, so we have another opportunity, and we're excited to go back home for Game 3.
How big was the fact it is a series? Sunday was disappointing, but you've got home court advantage. You can use it now on Sunday, but I guess it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's huge. Obviously, tonight was a big game for us. It was win or go home, and I think everybody stepped up, and obviously it went down to the wire like everyone saw, but yeah, we're excited, like I said, just to take it back to Melbourne for Game 3.
Can you take us through that final? No, you can't.
Crazy. Well, I actually turned the ball over offensively, which was not very smart, but then we got it back defensively, and we had the last shot, and obviously it was tied, so we just wanted to get the best possible option, and I guess the last second was the only thing that we could really do, and happy to come out with the win.
How special is the club and the group? You played with them in the inaugural season. You wanted to come out again, but there was COVID. It's taken a few years to get you back out here. You've had a few more seasons with Seattle, really developed your game. Tell us why you wanted to come back. I guess it's what's might be the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow on Sunday.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Like you said, I was supposed to come back that following year, but COVID happened and a lot of things happened as well. But I'm excited to be back this season with an awesome group of girls, and obviously we've been fighting all year to make it to this grand final and Game 3, which we're excited for.
You got a couple of WNBA championships, Mercedes, and you might be able to add another one here in Australia on Sunday.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a great game, so we need everybody to come out, please, Sunday afternoon. Don't want to miss it.
I just want to say I sat next to you on the flight home from Townsville a few weeks ago. You weren't very happy about the lack of leg room. Have you got something better happening tomorrow?
Oh, maybe a little more leg space would be nice. I'm kind of tall, as you can see.
Oh, kind of. Mercedes, well done. Amazing game. We'll see you Sunday.
Thank you so much. Everybody come out.
1:30 Sunday, Eastern Time at Parkville, Melbourne Sports Centre at Parkville. Tickets will be available at WNBL.basketball tomorrow. And Laurie, this is why we love grand final series, not one-offs.
So true, Jason. And it's because, we saw Perth dominate game 1. We see the Flyers make their adjustments and their strategies. And whilst they didn't dominate at the end, they came out with the win. And now it'll be so intriguing to go back to game 3 and see which team can get that ascendancy. Cannot wait.
We spoke about their veterans. We spoke about they've been there before. They've been clutch. They've won big games. They've lost big games. Nothing phases them, while Megs is with a couple.
The Southside Flyers are the family club. They've got 5 kids. 4 of them are on the road for this trip. Leilani, it's been a big few days, but you must be so happy that there's a few big days ahead.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're happy to keep fighting, take it back home, and hopefully can get the win in front of our fans and our family back in Melbourne. But I think it was a tough game. Obviously, they're a great team. I think we were a bit more focused defensively, and we can still clean some things up for the next game.
And Al, how did you think Mum went tonight? Yes, very good. Carly, you had a fantastic game yourself. You know how tough those game twos are. We spoke about Marina Maybury missing the free throws. I've got a dinosaur here. Marina Maybury missing those free throws here in Perth 2 years ago. You're on the Melbourne team. There were shades of that when Annalee went to the line tonight. So you've seen both sides of game two, and good news is there's a game three.
Yeah, it's a bit of deja vu. No, they're a tough team, and that was a bloody tough game. So we're absolutely rapt to bring it to game three now back home. So we're so excited. So recovery begins now, and we'll take it back home.
How special is it having the kids here around the club? Southside so supportive of the mums and bubs. But, you know, it's been a big couple of days, the time difference, the flight, keeping kids entertained. And tell us all about it.
Yeah, no, Southside are amazing at supporting the mums to bring their kids. Like, our kids are everything, and being able to bring them and, you know, being close, not having to worry about them is the best. And this is my little dinosaur boy. Yeah, so we're so grateful and so thankful for them to be able to help us in bringing our kids and have them with us.
Kylan, since you've been born, Mum's now played in 3 grand finals in a row. I think he's been a bit of a lucky charm.
Rah. Say rah. Yeah, he is my lucky charm, but no, it's the best.
Okay, I think it's time for bed, everyone. So, you, Cashy, we miss you.
Thanks,
we'll see
Megs.
you on Sunday, guys.
Thanks, Megs. Thanks to Al and Kylan for letting us borrow their mums for a couple of minutes. Southside 97, Perth 95. It's all square. Game 3 in Melbourne, Sunday, 1:30, as we take a look at the highlights. Southside led all night, Laurie. They led by as much as 15 points. Perth never grabbed the lead at any stage, but they did tie it up in the dying stages, and that last 30 seconds was just madness.
Well, it was chaotic. I can hardly wait to go home and replay it myself just to get a
what happened?
feel. What happened is right, but to Southside's credit, they came out with a much different attitude right from the beginning. But I tell you what, Perth, you know, they were very close to wearing them right down. That took that last basket to get them home.
We said at the start of the night, Zoe, that Game 2 would be a mental challenge for Southside as much as it was physical. Well, that's now the case for Perth. They've got to get themselves back up again in a couple of days to fight for this title.
Absolutely, and you look at it from a shooting percentage, the difference in the three-point shooting percentage from Game 1 to Game 2 for Perth. The fact is they know they can shoot at a much higher percentage than that, and that's what they have to hold on to and take into Game 3. They don't need to reinvent the wheel. They've just got to be able to play 4 quarters of their basketball rather than just a half.
And I think the other thing, too, that Perth will back themselves. They go, okay, this is Game 3 now. Our style of that running and pressuring and wearing them down is one more game. We've got 4 quarters to do that to Southside. And, you know, they both have to fly. So, wow, it's going to be on Sunday.
They say styles make fights. Well, these two teams have got completely different styles. So when you put them together, it's fascinating to see who can get the game on their terms and keep it there for longer. Tonight it was Southside. They led from go to woe and sets up Game 3 at Parkville. 1:30 Sunday. Tickets available tomorrow at WNBL.basketball. If you're in Melbourne, get along. If not, join us on ESPN Sunday afternoon from 1:30 Eastern. Well, that wraps up Game 2 of the Cygnett WNBL Grand Final. Thanks to Foot Locker, the Southside Flyers bouncing back on the road to level a series with a gritty win. On behalf of Laurie Chiswick, Zoe Carr, Megan Hustwaite, our entire production team, thanks so much for watching. Join us again Sunday for the series deciding Game 3.